You're not just randomly, looking for listings. It's like you have something to kind of come with. And so I'm sure there's another opportunity there as well, right? Like presenting a whatever market report or something that you could come to the table with so that
Yeah.
it doesn't feel so awkward.
I had a guy when I was door knocking last week, and as soon as I said I'm a real estate agent, and I just had little half sheet flyers for my open house, and he's like, no, 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 I don't want to move. And I said, no, I'm not. He goes, I don't want to move. And I said, no, 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 I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just telling you about an open house. And then he opened his door wider and listened to what I had to say. Um, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's like you're not, you're not pushing anything on him. You're really just bringing value and just going like, we're just doing an event down the road that I'm just trying to let you know about. So yeah, like you said, Stacy, it's different than standing at their door trying to sell something.
Yeah. The whole thing is, and even if you were just coming with a valuation of their neighborhood, they all want to know what their house is, what their value, what their neighborhood's worth. Oh no, I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm a local realtor. Yeah, I'm here to kind of just tell the neighborhood, what it's looking like so far, because I'm sure you're curious what's been happening in your neighborhood. So I have a list here, just give it to you, and you can look it over on your own time. You have any questions on it? It's just what your neighborhood's been doing. Just what your neighborhood's been doing. Not salesy, not this, not that. Talk like you normally would talk to your best friend or your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister. Talk like you're talking to them. Don't try to sell. If you try to sell, you'll fail. Oh man, I think I just created a new one. If you don't try to sell, if you try to sell, you'll fail. Bam, you'll record that. Sean's new quote. Man, so good, Stacy. Thanks for bringing that up. That's a win-win right there. If I needed if I needed to really fill my database right now, my database is packed. I think I have 15,000 people in there right now. If I needed to get back to the basics, or I was getting back to the basics because maybe I only had 100 or 200 in my database, or maybe I had none and I was brand new, door knocking is what I would do. 100% hands down. And then I'd be a little more specific and have fun with the door knocking. I'd do it around an open house. I'd do it around a new listing. I'd do it around one that just closed. I'd specifically do it for expires and for sale by owners. So now I've got all these buckets, and every day of the week, not only am I getting my exercise that I promised myself I would do years ago that I haven't done yet. Uh, I have been, but if I was, that's what I'd be doing. But number two, I have a daily plan of work to do, and it might take me an hour, take me 2 hours. We always talk about like, what is your true hourly job? And I always tell people it's roughly 15 hours a week because that's your 3 hours a day of lead generation. You're just generating for leads 3 hours a day, 15 hours a week. That's it. And I can make hundreds of thousands of dollars only working 15 hours a week. Yeah, there's more hours. You're going to be doing the lag measures. You're going to be finally getting things under contract. You're going to be working those deals and doing that. Yeah, but my true job that I can never shut the faucet off is the lead generation. And that might be door knocking an hour a day. That might be door knocking 2 hours a day. I can't ever shut that off. Now I can hand off my under contract file to a transaction coordinator and go on vacation, right? But I can't shut off the lead generation. That's the actual job. What do you guys think? We're done. It's over. Just kidding. Hey, so I wanted to make sure that today I took the time because I know we've got a lot of newer agents on this call. We got a lot of agents that have been in the real estate business for 5 years or less, maybe 7 years or less, and we're what we call the whirlwind of business. I'm going to pull this up real quick and let's see. One second. So I think you'll get a little bit of a kick out of this. Okay. And there's two different videos, and some of you may have seen this, some of you may not. But why are we huddling? What are we doing here? What's this all about? Why are you doing huddling? Well, I really love four disciplines of execution. And so today I thought, one, I want to get you back to remembering what your big why was. Number two, I want to make sure you have your goal set. So I'm going to give you a form for that. I'm not going to fill it out with you. You got to do it yourself on your own time. And number three, I want you to understand why we huddle. And so today I'm going to show you 4 disciplines of execution. Franklin Covey, Chris McChesney. There's, I think, 1 or 2 other authors in there. So you guys that created this book, 4 Disciplines, I am so sorry. Franklin Covey, Chris McChesney is he's the guy that's always behind camera. Chris does a great job. But I just want you to understand what 4 disciplines of execution are.
The 4 disciplines of execution are designed to create a winnable game. They give you the power to execute your most important goals in the face of competing priorities and distractions. The disciplines are powerful yet simple. They are not, however, simplistic. They can be tricky to apply and sustain because they require us to work differently than we normally do. Discipline 1 is focus on the wildly important. It requires you to focus on less in order to accomplish more.
We talked about those that went to Inman and how you come back with a book that looks a lot like my book right here, where I have my pen still in my book, and it's just packed full of different things that I learned and notes that I took. And now if I come back and try to apply every one of those, I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail. I've got to take one of them and focus on it this week, and another one and focus on it maybe next week or 2 weeks from now. That way I at least take the most important thing I got to work on this week and work on it.
You start by selecting one wildly important goal, or WIG, instead of trying to work on a dozen goals all at once. We're not suggesting you ignore the work necessary to maintain your operation. We are suggesting you narrow your focus to work on what you want to significantly improve. Most intelligent, ambitious people don't want to do less, especially if it means saying no to good ideas. They're wired to do more, but there are always more good ideas than there is capacity to execute. When you choose a wildly important goal, you identify the most important objective that won't be achieved unless it gets special attention. In other words, your normal course of business won't make it happen. To define a WIG, identify where you are now, where you want to be, and by when. Said differently, you define a starting line, a finish line, and a deadline. Psychologically, it's very important to have a single measure of success. This is the discipline of focus, and it's the first step to creating a winnable game. Discipline 2 is act on the lead measures. No matter what you're trying to achieve, your success will be based on 2 kinds of measures, lag and lead. Lag measures track the success of your wildly important goal. Lags are measures you spend time losing sleep over, right? Revenue, profit, quality, customer satisfaction. They're called lags because by the time you see them, the performance that drove them has already passed. You can't do anything to fix them. They're history. In contrast, lead measures track the critical activities that drive or lead to the lag measure. They predict the success of the lag measure and are influenced directly by the team. A common example of a lag measure is weight loss. Which activities or lead measures will lead to weight loss, right? Diet and exercise. Proper diet and exercise predict the success of weight loss, and they're activities we can directly influence. Right? Now, simple enough, but be careful. Even the smartest people fall into the trap of fixating on a lag measure they can't directly influence. This is because lags are easier to measure and they represent the result we ultimately want. Think of a lead measure as a lever that moves your wildly important goal. Discipline 3 is keeping a compelling scoreboard. People play differently when they are keeping score. If you doubt this, watch a group of teenagers playing basketball. See how the game changes the minute scorekeeping begins. It's not a subtle change. The lag and lead measures won't have much meaning to the team unless they can see the progress in real time. Bowling through a curtain is not that much fun. Discipline 3 is the discipline of engagement. People perform best when they are emotionally engaged, and the highest level of engagement comes when people know the score, whether they are winning or losing the game. It's that simple. The best scoreboard is designed for and often by the players. A player's scoreboard is quite different from the complex scoreboard coaches love to make. If players know the score, if they can influence the lead measure, and if the lead measure moves the lag measures, you know you have a winnable game. Disciplines 1, 2, and 3 are nothing more than a formula for creating a winnable game. Discipline 4 is how we play that game. Discipline 4 is create a cadence of accountability. The cadence of accountability.
All right. You're in a cadence of accountability right now. That is this meeting. We're doing a huddle because of those discipline 1, 2, 3. We got to be able to meet and go over how you're doing. So that's why I love to hear things like Stacy's win. So awesome. Chris's win. Awesome. I love to hear your wins. That's celebratable, guys. We want to celebrate the wins and make sure we're winning the game. All right. So I'm giving you something here. This is all already in the chat. You can download each and every one of these items right out of the chat. But first and foremost, when someone wants to join my team, and anyone on this call that's on my team, they'll contest that I do this. I always ask them, what's your big why? Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to be a realtor? I ask that question. I want to know why. Because if they don't have a good why, I can't help them get to where they want to go. I got to bring you back to your why many often. And this is really good for dealing with sellers as well. Those of you that are dealing with sellers, why are they selling the house? If you're just going in there blind and have no idea why they want to sell this house, that needs to be the number one thing you find out. That way you can bring them back to that multiple times. We got one that wants to sell and move to Idaho. She overpriced her house by quite a bit. So I'm bringing her back this morning. We're going to meet and talk. I'm going to bring her back to this morning to, what did I originally say your house was worth? Where did you choose to list it? Right before listing, she chose, because her kids were in her ear, that they wanted to list it higher. Understandable. Okay, no problem. Just as long as they understand the big why, they want to move to Idaho, and they understand that that's not the value I gave them, that the value of the home is here, and this is why we have not had very many showings or any offers. So we got to bring them back to that big why. But for you, as a team leader or a broker owner, I got to bring you guys back to the big why and why you even wanted to be a realtor. Because 9 times out of 10, you quit. Not you, but because you're here. Agents quit. Remember we said 71% of agents didn't even sell a house in 2024? 71% of agents, I told this to a property owner or business owner yesterday. I said, 71% of agents didn't sell a house in 2024. And he was like, what? I said, yeah, not one. Wow, that's a big number. Did they go back to their big why, or did they just quit after it got hard? Because it's usually about month 2 that you start thinking, I have nothing under contract. What am I doing? Is this the right job for me? Or should I choose to do something else? And then me as a team leader, if you were to approach me and say that, I'm going to say, okay, well, let's get back down to what you're doing. What are your daily activities? What's happening here? What are you doing every day? What does a day in the life of you look like? A day in the life of you. What does it look like right now? Well, a lot of times, most people wake up, start folding laundry, doing this and doing that, and doing this and doing that. And great, guess what? The laundry's still going to be there at 1 o'clock when you're done with your morning. You're fresh. Right now, I want to get the things done that I don't want to do so I can enjoy the rest of the day. Or I could just go do the things that I know that are right in front of me, the easy things to do, which is very similar to the lag measure things. Get all those done because they're easier and they're staring at me and they're easier. So let's go back to the why. Why did you want to be a realtor? So I have this list for you to help you discover your big why if you have not found it yet. Some people say it's my family. My family is my big why. Great. I want you to think deeper now. Typically, that works perfect for me. But in a market like we're in, which by the way is getting hot, I'm telling you, this has been a much better year than last year. It's getting hot. A market like we're in, though, you got to dig deeper. So what are you passionate about? What is it that just makes you excited? I want you to think about that, and I want you to write it down. What does it make you excited? And then in the end, I want you to, when you've had these all filled out, I need you all to email them to me. I want to have a copy of them. And then we can circle back and go over it one-on-one time together. It's very important. So what are you passionate about? Just write that down. What are your core values? Write that down. What do you want your legacy to be? Ooh, I love the word legacy. I do. What do you want your legacy to be? Because each and every one of your businesses are a legacy. You have your legacy. I'm going to mute a couple of you guys that are in my ear here. There we go. All right. So what do you want your legacy to look like? It's yours. It's not mine. It may look similar to mine. It may not. You may look similar to someone else's. It may not. But what's yours? What are you willing to suffer for? Wow. Now there's a big one because work is, by the way, work, right? It's work, which means you sometimes have to do things you didn't really want to do, but in order to make a living or feed your family or put food on the table or whatever it is, you gotta work. Now, Brian Eisenhower from Eisenhower Coaching and Consulting says that it's not digging a trench. That's hard work, but it is hard work and it is work. You gotta work. So what are you willing to suffer for? And if there were, here's a fun one. I love this last question. If there were no limitations, nothing holding you back, what would you choose to do? All right, so that's going to help you come up with your big why. And then I'm going to pull up, and I did put this in the group chat already. I am going to pull up here we go. Share my screen here. Those of you that are brand new in the business and just got started, I would bet you probably have not done a business plan yet. And maybe you have. And there's a lot of easy ones and a lot of hard ones that are going to make you really think hard. This one's one we use at Eisenhower Coaching and Consulting, but it's actually been around. And there's other ones that are read that from other companies that have made over the years. But it's a simple business plan. It's not made to freak you out or make you sit down for 10 hours. Now, I will tell you that you do need to spend a little time of your day working on it. But the most important thing you need to do is spend a little time of your day every day looking at it and making sure that today I am focused on some of my focus areas and objections. These are the most important key part for me right here, because this is going to drive that one. Now I need to know, remember what he said, number one, what is the wildly important goal? This is your WIG, wildly important goal that you want to do. And I always usually say, you want one for the whole year, and then you break it down into quarterly or 21-week year, great book, milestones in order to hit that big goal. Okay, so 45 is my total that I want to do. Then by the half of the year, I'm going to have 22.5. I should know that math off the top of my head. Sorry. Thinking and doing, and then math in between jacked me up. Sorry. 22 and a half deals by middle of the year. So if 22 and a half is my middle of the year, then quarterly I've got 11.25, 11 and a quarter. Now, round up, round down, however you want to do it, that's 12. So if every quarter I should have 12 closings, now I'm breaking it down to how am I going to get 12 closings? So I've got to establish my online presence, lead generation for new business. And by the way, this is just a sample. Organize my COI, which is also known as the SOI, Sphere of Influence or Circle of Influence, in my CRM database and systematically grow it and contact it every day, 5 days a week. Now I'm going to break it down to online presence has 5 different individual key items that I need to be focusing on in order to be able to hit the 3 focus items in order to be able to hit my 11 closings a quarter. See how that works? It's not hard. It's not hard to do. It's not digging a trench hard. It's not really that hard, but the hard part is that you have to actually do it, and most people struggle with that. So now if I'm going to break this down, I have a daily plan of things that I need to make sure I am focusing on. So every day, if I'm looking at this now, guess what? I'm able to see exactly where there's holes in my business. Consistency is key. Usually about month 2, sometimes a lot of agents make it to month 3 and they're ready to quit. Not good. Why? Well, maybe because they didn't break it down and stick to the consistency of what they should have been focusing on, and then tracking those numbers with a scoreboard, with quarterly follow-ups, with 21-week year follow-ups every 21 weeks to be able to hit that goal. Not genius rocket science stuff, right, guys? It's doable. Now, one thing that I heard that he said, I'm going to share this screen now. This is the scoreboard that I've given you guys. If you go to where you clicked on in the huddle and you click on that, you'll see the very first item there is scoreboard link. But remember what he said, that the coach is going to have a scoreboard, right? But you won't believe in it as much if you didn't make it. And if you caught him in that video saying that, but that's what he said. You have to believe in your scoreboard, not me. So in this scoreboard, I gave you lead measures. Okay. I gave you growth. I mean, that's for recruiting. Don't worry about that one. I gave you open house trackable items. I gave you lead follow-up tasks that need to happen every day before 5 o'clock on Friday. I gave you online lead contacts. How many online leads are you working? If you're not working any, minus that one out. But guess what? This is totally modifiable. I can change it to whatever I want. Here's what I want you to do though. I don't want you to change mine. Okay, I'm gonna hit the back arrow. I'm gonna bring that back. Maybe. Uh-oh. There we go. I'm gonna bring it back. What I want you to do is, this is your scoreboard. It's available for you to use, or you can use a different scoreboard. So this is week 1, 2, 3, 4, and if there's a 5th. Okay. What I want you to do is hit this button right here that says File. I want you to make a copy. I want you to name it whatever you want. Okay. If you're planning to modify this, this is what I want you to do. Name it yours, reshare it back with me. Okay, you can share it back with the same people. You can just send me a copy, but name it yours and modify the snot out of it, however you want to do it. Make it so you believe in it. Make it so you're going to use it. If you don't believe in it, you won't use it. So make the scoreboard usable. If you're focusing on door knocking, like I said, mine would be door knocking. Would I have open houses in there? Yeah, I would, but I would rather have the door knocking, because the open house is just my excuse to go meet more people, to go invite more people to the open house. It's just the excuse. I don't care if nobody shows up. I don't care. As long as I used it and I literally talked to 60 people in a week, I'm successful. I feel accomplished. I feel good, because that would be my goal. Because I don't know if you guys have gone back and looked in that video in the YouTube channel at The Trusted Agent. That's the handle for the YouTube channel at The Trusted Agent. Go back in there to the podcast, and there's one I did on a high level open house, high level, high performance open house. Because it's all about every day of the week, I give you a daily simple tasks, and I show you how you can use the open house and talk to and collect contact for roughly 60 plus people with less than 8 hours of work. I show you how to do that in a week. Less than 8 hours of work in a week. Should be doing 8 hours in one day easily, up to 10 hours a day, but less than 8 hours a week to get more than 60 people in your database by just using the open house as an excuse. That would be me. That's what I would be focusing on, is more contacts from the open house. I'm not just scheduling an open house and put a sign out front, post online, and pray that people show up. 3 Ps. Okay, I'm not doing that. That's the excuse to get more contacts that week. I could cancel the open house as long as I made my contacts. You don't want to cancel the open house. You still want to do it. There's a chance a ton of people will show up if you do it the right way. Okay. And I'll send that YouTube page inside of the chat as well, so that you guys can have a copy of it and know exactly where it's at. And any questions on this today? If you did not get any of these action steps, so I also added an action steps in there. The action steps are where you take each individual focus area, and now you break it down to up to 5 actionable steps. And, okay, you don't have to have 5. You just need to have some. Don't stress over trying to find things to put in there. Get some things in there that you believe in, that you can do, that you will do, and focus on those. Over the year, you can add to it. Guess what? Next year is going to look even better. It's going to look really good, because you're going to be able to have this year's and what was successful this year to get next year's business plan in order and action steps in order. So don't worry about making sure all the boxes are filled out. Stop wasting your time. Just put things in there that you know you can do, that you like to do, that you feel you can do, that maybe you've learned about. Remember, we don't know what we don't know yet, but you know what you know so far, and start plugging those things in there. That way you're winning the game, right? Okay. Questions? No? No questions? Okay, I'm going to give you the direct channel to the podcast. I've given it to you many times before. It's in the the trusted agent. That's the handle. But here is the direct link. And look for the one in there. There you go. You got the direct link in there. And look for the one in there that is the high performing open house. I bet you I can find it really easy right here. I think it's labeled high. Setting up knowing. There it is. High level weekly schedule. No, that's not it. Top production. Okay. So yeah, look in here. You'll find it. It's in here. I promise you. I just have to sift through it myself, find it. But yeah, so it's under the podcast. There's negotiate. Down 70 contacts. Anyway, it's in there. I promise you. Just look in there. You'll find it. I think that's it. The high level. I think that's the one. All right. So you got the link. Go grab it, have fun with it, and have a good week. By the way, when you're done with these, please email them to me at sean@cardozaregroup.com, and I will review them, respond back to you with some comments on it. If you did great, thumbs up. If there's some things I think you need to modify, which a lot of times there are, I'll give you some suggestions, but it's yours. I want you to believe in it and you to do it. Sound good? Go get it. You got a
Sean,
win.
did you put those questions up in the chat?
Say that way
Are
again.
you able to put those questions up in the chat?
I uploaded the entire thing into the chat. If you showed up late, you may not have got it.
Yeah, I showed up a little bit late. I didn't get it. I'm sorry.
All right. Let me see. All right. The big why questions are in the chat again. There you
Okay,
go.
gotcha.
All right. I download that and then go get it, guys. Answer the questions. Put your 135 down on paper if you don't already. If you already have it and you just want to email it to me and let me review it, do it. Put that in the chat too. Sean at Cardoza, regroup.com. There's my email address. And go get it, guys. Have a good week. We'll see you Wednesday. See you Wednesday.
Thank you.
Welcome.